Greetings, YouTube. I'm back again for another video. Don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Might not call it anything. Well, it'll have a name. It'll be labeled. But this video is about the slim PS2 versus the fat PS2. And I see a lot of, well, I don't see a lot of anything when that's concerned. Like with that topic, you have to really look for discussions about it. And some people pick the slim over the big. It doesn't really matter. Well, to me it matters because I have no life. But to those of you with lives, it probably doesn't matter. But here's my 2 cents on it. Slim PS2s, they're good if you're like a casual kind of gamer, like if you just have if you find your PS2 just lying around all of a sudden after you did some cleaning or whatever, or somebody gives you a PS2 and you just want to play it every now and then, and you barely have any games whatsoever, just a few games you couldn't let go of, or a few games that just happen to catch your eye or whatever. That's good for that, for those type of gamers. For people like me, who, I'll show you again, you've seen this before, but yeah, for people like me who are PlayStation 2 enthusiasts and have a lot of games and like to collect for a system or collect games for a system, even long after the system has already been, even long after, they finish making the system. Slim PS2s are horrible. They are horrible. I don't know much about Slim PS2s. I know that I used to like them, and I don't like them now. Not for any performance issues or nothing like that. Just for playing. Like, this happened a while ago. I had a before I started collecting the fat models, I just started getting into seriously collecting, for the 6th generation, and around that time, once I started getting on a roll, with collecting games, the 360 comes out, and I came across a problem of disc crackage with the 360. I'll get into that later on. It's something to do with the cases, but that's a whole nother video. I'll do a video about that later. But anyway, I bought Persona 3, and I was still sort of new to RPGs, and I was like, oh, okay. It says back on the back of the box, 70 plus hour main campaign, and a 30 plus hour extra campaign. So at least I'm guaranteed a lot of gameplay. And so this isn't the game, but just an example. So I was playing the game. I got about 35 hours in, or 40 hours in, and my game started to crack. And that is, well, it started to crack around the edges, around here. Let me set it down for a second. Around these parts right here, I started getting little lines, and as you can see, hang on a second. There we go. As you can see, kids, I need a better camera, but see that right there? You can't see it, but if you have one, you'll notice that sometimes the ring bends. See right there? It's never good to have to do this. I mean, it's bad enough, that you have to, and I love the PS2 cases. I've never had a game crack on me before. It's bad enough you gotta, do this all the time and snap it back in place. This case is actually broken. But That's why it's bad, because of that. And like I said, it doesn't happen that often. It happens, which is a good and bad thing. It happens at random, and that's the worst time it could happen. Like when you're not expecting it to happen. When the last thing you're expecting is for your game to crack. So what happened was, I started getting cracks along the lines, and I was like, oh no, I'm not too worried about it. It'll all be okay. Because I didn't know anything about disc. I still don't know nothing about disc, aside from the fact that the original Xbox disc and the Xbox 360 disc are very, very thin, and that's also not good considering how many different case designs they have. So if you ask me, which you probably won't, the fat model wins all the time. I've taken it apart. I've seen it play games. I've taken it apart and seen how it plays the games, how it spins the disc. It's a better way to go if you're a collector, because I am a collector, and like there's still games I'm still discovering. The games I'm still discovering even now. Long after the PS2's been stopped being manufactured, and most of the games I have are used. They're in pretty good condition. I try to buy the best quality games, but most of them are used. So so like, even if they are in really good condition, if the person took really good care of them, I still don't know how much, how much wear that disc has seen. Because you can keep a PS2 disc in perfect condition, and sometimes it'll just get little tiny lines from like the laser, from just being played so much. I think I can prove that part. Hang on a second. But yeah, I decided not to worry about it, and sooner or later, the cracks start getting wider and wider. Then I started getting cracks in other areas of the disc. I started getting a crack like right here, a crack right here, a crack right here, a crack right here, and it got to the point where I couldn't get my PS2 to play. I couldn't. It got to the point where the disc became so cracked that the spindle or whatever this thing is right here, the little wheel, it couldn't grip the disc, so it couldn't play it. And this, and then taking it from here and then forcing it onto this little thing right here to hold it in place, it just wasn't good. That, in my opinion, it is the reason why the slim PS2 was like I said, it doesn't happen that often, which is a good and a bad thing. It happens randomly. Happening randomly is even worse, because you never know when it's going to happen. And since all of my games are used, well, I have a few new games, but since a lot of my games are used, they've already seen a fair amount of wear. And on top of that, I don't know if the person who had a game, who previously owned it, did he have a slim PS2 or did he have a fat PS2? Sometimes you can tell, but sometimes you can't. Like this game right here, it's hard to sort of tell, but you can't see them. Let's see. Yeah, you can't really see them, but sometimes you'll see little tiny lines going in a circular motion, and as far as I know, you can't really remove them unless you have a disc cleaner. But it's happened a few times with me, where after playing a game for 50 or 60 hours, they'd be little lines. The game would still play, but they'd just be little tiny silver lines going in a circular motion. That is unavoidable, unless the game is short and there's absolutely no reason to come back to it. But this right here, you never want to have to do this, because like I said, sometimes the disc bends. If I had a better camera, you'd be able to see it better. And with some PlayStations, some slim models, sometimes you'll get the disc in, but then and it is, because this happened to me a lot. This is actually my girlfriend's, or my PS2 that I gave to my girlfriend. The one that cracked on me was the a black model, and sometimes I would get it in, and a lot of times it'd be you press it in, but then this side of the disc would be sort of like that, and you got to press it down. So sometimes you'd have to sort of play with it a little bit just to make sure that was securely, you know, held by the wheel. And I never like bending my games. I barely even like taking them in and out of the case, you know, for all the bending. But anyway, in the case of slim PS2 versus the big PS2, the fat PS2 wins all the time for the collectors. If you're just a casual person that has a life and you don't game with the PS2 that much, and you know you don't really care or whatever, then the slim is the way to go. Although with this one, I must say the memory card slot actually stopped working. Memory card slot 1, anyways, and I don't know why, but some games will actually let you. Some games will actually check for data. They actually check for data in both slots. Whereas most games that I've come across, they'll check for the first slot. You can't select slot 2 for memory. You know, you can't select like just load it from slot 2. There's no real option for that. Sometimes there is, but most of the games I have, there is no option to load data. You know, like directly from a specific slot. They always check memory card slot 1. I even tried plugging the controller into slot 2, thinking maybe it would ask, you know, okay, or thinking that maybe it would check the data, or that it would check slot 2 instead of checking slot 1. No, if you do that, it'll say please plug the controller into controller 1 port or whatever. This is a pretty decent PS2. I barely used this thing before I gave this to my girlfriend. It's SCPH 77001. But yeah, it's in pretty good condition, and like it's very well taken care of. Matter of fact, I gave this to my ex-girlfriend. This wasn't mine, this was hers, but she wasn't a heavy gamer anyway, so she barely used it. When we broke up, it just so happened to be at my house, and I was like, well, I'm keeping this, you know, because I bought it anyway. So I wound up you know, getting another girlfriend, giving it to her, but you know she doesn't want it because now she has a Wii, and I'll probably get her a Wii U. But anyways, slim PS2s are good. You know, they play perfectly. Maybe there are some models that don't crack the disc, and the funny thing is, like, I don't think I've ever seen any issue of it. Like, maybe I could type it in on Google and see what pops up, but I've never really heard anybody talk about it. So I'm guessing it's just me. Maybe I don't know how to handle a disc, you know, disc games, which, you know, is not really good for me because I have about 500 or more disc games, and none of them broke. And the only one that messed up on me was the Persona 3 Fez edition. And after that, you know, I was upset because I was like, oh, what am I going to do? You know, like, how am I going to start have a game collection when the system that's supposed to play my games cracks my games? And my friend, you know, because I totally forgot about the big PS2. My friend was like, well, why don't you just get a big PS2? And I was like, yeah, why don't I do that? You know, so that's what I did. And since then, of course, no cracked games whatsoever. Not one. And he actually gave me his PS2 at the time. I think we made a trade for it, and that was like 6 or 7 years ago. Probably about 6 years ago. And I've been using this right here. First one I've ever owned. Well, no, second one. I had one before when it first came out, but I was too busy trading stuff in. I couldn't keep a system or a game that, you know, pretty long without trading it in at GameStop. But yeah, like, that's basically the first system I've ever owned. The first big PS2 I ever owned, and whatever. I'm trying to think of what to say. Yeah, he gave me his PS2, and then I sort of became obsessed with them. I learned how to take them apart. Only thing I know how to do is actually clean the lens. Anything beyond that problem, I don't know how to do. I know how to replace the lens or the eye, you know, to reach the disc. And aside from that, I don't know. Any other problems? I don't know. And plus, I'm only really familiar with certain models. But I do know how to take apart the fan. I know how to get to the fan, disassemble it, put in a new fan. But anything aside from like disc reading and the fan, and maybe like engine problems, I probably wouldn't know what to do. I'm still learning though. Here's another one that I bought right here. There was a time when I had 5 of them, but I gave 2 away, which I never. I mean, I don't even lend out games. I don't have too many friends. I have a few, but I don't even lend out games or give games away. I mean, if I give a game away, it's because I know I can get it back very easily and very cheaply. And I almost never give out consoles. But I hadn't seen this friend in a long time, so I gave him my PS2. That one didn't work, so I gave him another one. But this one's been hanging in there like 7 years. I take it apart maybe 2 or 3 times a year just to get the dust out, to give the eye a cleaning. And here's another one. Can't see it because I keep my stuff in t-shirts just to keep the dust away. And there's another one right here in the green shirt. And I'm working on getting 2 or 3 more. I just found out which model is actually the best model, and it turns out the one that I have. It turns out that this one is probably like the best model to get. That's what everybody's saying when you on like Google and like websites and stuff like that. So I think I have 2 of those models, and I'm gonna try and find 2 more. But I guess I'm done rambling. My next video will be about Xbox games, and slim Xbox, Xbox games, Xbox disc. Just to sort of make you guys aware of that as well. And this is Alison on Overlip signing out. Remember, if you're a collector and most of your games are used, not saying that in a bad way, most of my games are used. If you're a collector and most of your games are used, and you buy mostly used games, because like stuff like Dot Hack and stuff like stuff like Drakengard 2, Drakengard 1, Yakuza 1, Yakuza 2, those games aren't cheap. So 9 times out of 10, like old RPGs and old games, like this video should have ended a long time ago, but bear with me. Stuff like this, Blood Will Tell. Like you don't want them breaking. You don't want them breaking at random, and that's what seems to happen. Because it was only that one game that happened. I'm pretty sure if I would have just said screw it and just kept on using my Slim PS2, I'm pretty sure another one would have broke eventually. One more story. I actually, my very first copy of Okami, I bought from a seller. They had it labeled as, I think, like new or whatever. Used like new or used very good. No freaking lie. No lie. I'm not lying about this. I might start doing a video about all the cracked games I get as well. The inner ring was pushed in. This part right here, it was like a little volcano. It was like this part was curved out. I don't know how the heck they did, but I'm pretty sure, that right there, I want to say it was done from a the damage was caused from a Slim PS2. That, or maybe they had a big PS2, and the PS2 was broken, and they wanted to take it apart, to try and like sell the game because they knew the game was worth a lot of money, whatever. But I'm thinking maybe that was an error on the Slim PS2. It was so bad that when you put it in, see how this is? There's no space under here. It was so bad that the disc was levitating. Like the edges of the disc was levitating. And I almost couldn't even close the drawer because, it was like in horrible condition. And I was like, yeah, that's another reason why I don't want a Slim PS2. And when you spend so much money on these rare games, from like the 6th generation or whatever, you don't want games randomly breaking. You don't want that. Like the only worry you should have is about like knowing how to clean your big PS2 or to like keep the equipment running, whatever you're using to play your sixth generation games, whether it's Xbox or GameCube or PS2. You should know something about them, at least how to clean the lens. Like that should be your worry. Games cracking or being damaged to the point where they're unplayable because of the system, that's not something you should never have to worry about. So, big PS2 all the way collectors, people who don't give an F, or people who are just casual gamers, or whoever has a life, enjoy your Slims. I'm Eisen on Overlip again. This is the real. I'm really exiting or ending the video this time, and I'll see you in my next video.